covering the stories that matter to you from across America. Live in primetime, this is News Nation. Your news, your nation.
Tonight on News Nation, online grocery shopping is booming right now during the pandemic. Why one data company says it may just become the way of the future.
Shopping for groceries has changed over the past 6 months since the COVID-19 pandemic. Many people now ordering their groceries online to try and avoid leaving their homes. But will online grocery shopping still be popular post-pandemic? Whenever that is. Just released a new study about online grocery shopping. And Sylvain Perrier, CEO and president of Mercatus, is here to talk about online grocery sales. So Sylvain, first, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for...
Well, we know your company just released this new study about online grocery shopping habits. I know so many people who are now ordering their groceries online, my personal friends. How have things changed since this pandemic started earlier this year?
We've actually seen some tremendous growth happen in the industry. If we look back at 2018, roughly 24% of people were shopping online. We've actually seen that grow in the last 6 months to roughly 43%, an increase, and that's amazing. So right now, the grocery retail industry is roughly about $1 trillion industry. We're seeing probably 10.2% of online shopping, and we're forecasting that to grow to 21.5% by 2025, and that's a $250 billion market.
Oh my goodness. Well, obviously the pandemic has a huge influence on online grocery shopping, but kind of what are some of the drivers for success in this industry?
I think one is being able to provide extreme convenience to your shoppers. That could be through enabling delivery, pick up in store, click and collect, being really transparent with your pricing, but even more importantly, considering and we're in the middle of a pandemic, is letting people know what's in stock inside the store.
And are you surprised kind of by the increase in business? Are you surprised?
I am surprised, and the reason that is the case is we saw an extreme adoption with people over the age of 65 years old that are typically fearful of using the internet and buying online and normally would rely on a loved one to help them. We've seen them flock the systems out there wanting to be safe.
Well, absolutely. So, okay, of course, there's this question now. What happens after the pandemic? Because so many of us are ready for things to get back to normal, but what does that mean for the online grocery shopping industry?
Well, we're forecasting that it's going to continue to grow. In fact, we're actually saying out of that 43% of growth that we've seen, only 7% of actually those shoppers will return to in-store, but the remaining will continue to shop online simply because the convenience factor. But even more so, what we really can't say is how long is this pandemic going to linger? And people, what we know from our survey, are really looking for safe alternatives to remain healthy.
And I know, Sylvain, you said that people over 65 have really started using it. I know a lot of people younger than that who are still using it, who love using it. Kind of, were you surprised to see, because we know that there were the more high at-risk groups, but for those of the people that maybe weren't in those at-risk groups, they're using online grocery shopping.
Correct. Yeah, we were really surprised that senior citizens were really jumping in. And it really depends on what part of the country you're in. I've had the opportunity to sit in on some call center excursions and listen to people asking for support and asking if it was safe to use their credit cards. It was completely blown away.
And that was my last question for you. You know, for people who are maybe a little bit hesitant to give it a try, what is your advice, or what are your words of wisdom?
I would say start small. You don't have to put an extremely large order in. Try something simple, your basic staples, which could be, some fresh produce, bread, and so on. And, start with something where you can go pick it up inside the store. If your order is not right, you can at least interact immediately with an associate to get the issue resolved. And as you grow comfortable, build out your basket and then maybe try delivery.
All right. Sylvain Perrier, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.